We will be having a word with officials in the Technology Development Fund initiative by the Higher Education Commission. This is a fund that was developed by the Higher Education Commission. It's an initiative in order to fund proposals for technology development by research scholars, which are going to impact the economy of Pakistan. And they will also be targeted towards solving current problems in Pakistan and issues that are going to have a good market value and that will be sellable and also provide much needed services to Pakistan as well. So we'll be talking about that from a representative from the Higher Education Commission. This is a very good initiative indeed. Now, another very important topic that we'd like to discuss in our program today is the Higher Education Commission's initiative of the Technology Development Fund, which is an initiative to fund proposals for technology development by ongoing researchers. These are mostly PhD graduates, and the work that they're doing is to enhance and help Pakistan's economy and also to address existing problems and to find solutions to those. And also the Higher Education Commission also has a lot of initiatives towards bringing about online learning. We're going to be talking about this with the representative of the Higher Education Commission, Dr. Zain Ul-Abdin. He's the DG Research and Development. Thank you, sir, for joining us online.
Thank you.
Can you please apprise us to begin with about the HEC's efforts to bring about an environment of online learning for students in Pakistan?
Okay, so first of all, thank you very much for inviting HEC and specifically myself actually for giving our views about online learning, especially talking about this technology development program that you have just mentioned actually. So as you are aware that we are actually facing currently this epidemic situation, and one of the things that we realized very early on was that if we really want to sustain our higher education segment, especially related to the courses and the programs that we are offering, we need to go towards the online learning mode actually very early on. And we have actually initiated this initiative early in March, and we have issued directives to the different universities within Pakistan so that they can adopt all the measures, especially related to adopting the technology that is really needed in the universities in order to offer these distance learning courses. Then there are, of course, issues related to the content that is also needed because you must be aware that most of our universities were previously offering courses as in the form of a physical environment actually. So
Right.
since
Can you
the
also tell us a
university,
bit about the Technology Development Fund? We are being shown some of the scientific products made under this project. Can you please tell us a bit more about those projects and how they're helping Pakistan?
yeah. So, I mean, I just touch upon the online learning aspects of the TTDF program actually. So, with respect to the online learning, actually, we have already initiated a number of programs which are some of our universities are already offering to the students. But there's still issues related to different technological components and also to the access of the students in terms of the internet availability actually. And in that aspect, we are actually working with some of the telcos as well, so that they can offer some solutions and some more cost-effective solutions for the students community actually, so that they can get connected with their respective universities and they can actually uh, get facility of these online learning modes. So now coming back to the TDF program, so this was actually an initiative that was supported by the Planning Commission back in 2016 actually. And the idea behind this program was to actually uh, develop the ideas that are already conceptualized in the early phases of our research in the academic sector, and then to take those ideas towards the last part, which is the actual transfer of that technology to the industry. Actually, if you are
Right.
familiar that there are different technology readiness levels that are actually considered when you are about to take a technology to the industry. Actually, so what we were planning to uh, include in this aspect was that all the projects that are actually between technological readiness level between 8 to 10 actually, they will be actually considered in this part of our program. So and then in order to undertake this program, we have put a mandatory requirement that the projects that we will consider for funding, they will have to have a uh, mandatory interest from the industry as well. And
Okay.
one of the things
Can you
that
just
we
can we just discuss a little bit about the projects that have successfully been funded, such as the National Textile University students making the N95 mask indigenously? How much is the availability of those masks now publicly that have now been developed by the National Textile University?
So, I mean, now you're talking about another initiative actually that we have recently started actually. But with the TDF program, there were actually 200 projects that we funded. We have already funded in the last 3 years of its existence actually. And there are a number of very interesting outcomes of those projects that have already been commercialized actually, and I'll just name a few of them actually, and then I'll go to this initiative that you have mentioned about the National Textile University. So you are aware that there is actually a thing related to this environmental pollution, especially related to the tanning industry that exists in Sialkot region actually. And one of the initiatives that we have funded in the TDF program was specifically making use of the raw materials from that industry actually, and to overcome the uh, environmental pollution related aspects of those raw output that has been produced by that industry. So
That would be the
that's
chemicals produced by the tanning industry.
exactly.
Right.
So they have actually come up with a very innovative idea by which they can actually uh, process the some of the waste material that has been produced by that industry, and it can be reused within the same industry as well.
Okay,
So this is one
because
of the initiatives.
these are byproducts of the industry that actually pollute water resources, as you were saying earlier, and then they cause poisoning to the people, the locals who drink that water, or any agricultural use it's used for. It contaminates everything. It contaminates that crop, and it also contaminates the drinking water. So this is a solution to that students have come up with.
Exactly. Then coming back to this initiative that you have just mentioned about the National Textile University. So in actually early March, we have also initiated another program which we named it as a Rapid Research and Innovation Initiative. And the idea there was that we should actually use the research that is available, or the research capacity that is available in our universities actually, in order to develop innovative ideas that could really help in us in addressing this COVID related situation actually. So we launched that program by mid of March, and there were more than 500 applications that we actually received as part of that program actually. And I mean, it covers a number of areas actually, starting from the personal protective equipments, which N95 is an important component of that actually. But it also has another areas related to the diagnostic equipment, because you must be aware that there is a shortage of diagnostic equipment within Pakistan as well actually. And of
Right.
course,
So,
one of the things that is,
right. Sorry, please continue. And I just as a follow up, I'd like to know if these are available locally as well for the public.
yes. So, and then the other thing that we have also included in that program was the modeling part actually, because right now we what we are lacking in Pakistan is also a very I mean more sophisticated system that can actually gather data from the very remote parts of the country and present it to the policymakers in a way that will be helpful for them in making their decisions actually. So that is another very complex system that we have already got some interest actually, and right now we are in the phase of actually finalizing those grants, and they will be soon available to our researchers. All of
Right.
these ideas are right now in, I would say, they are in the development phase, so they are not directly available to the end users. But I would just say that some of these are really very promising solutions that will help us in addressing not only the COVID related situations, but some other related problems that are existing to our healthcare system as well.
Right, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing all this information with us, Dr. Zain Ul-Abdin, the DG Research and Development in the Higher Education Commission. We wish them and their students the best of luck in developing these technology solutions to Pakistan's issues, which is mainly right now the COVID-19 situation.